Week 7 of high school football, and we start with 3A and a changing of the guard in the Metro League, if only for the next 5 months. Seattle Prep with a chance to clinch the top division and top seed in next week's playoff. All that stood in their way were the Blanchet Braves. Turned out to be a pretty big obstacle in the first half. Henry Johnson finishes the opening drive with a short score for Blanchet. Seattle Prep fumbled the next kickoff, gave the ball right back to Blanchet, and they capitalize. Loose ball goes into the end zone. Braves recover, and it's called a touchdown as the ref's arms come up. Blanchet up 14-0 after the first quarter, and the bad luck continued on into the second quarter. Jake Sipe in his own end zone, sacked by Tyler Corman. It was 19-0. Panthers in a world of hurt, trying to regroup. They had upset Eastside Catholic a week earlier. The week before that, they beat O'Dea for the first time in 41 years. But Luke Gardner's touchdown made it 26-0 Blanchet, and it wasn't looking good for the Panthers. Finally, some signs of life before halftime. Sipe hits Braden Smith, the basketball star. He turns a dump pass into a 21-yard gain, stopping the clock, getting out of bounds. Everything that went against them finally started to go the other way. Sipe again rolling, finding Smith again. 2 plays later, Prep finally gets in the end zone. The rugby scrum moves over the goal line. Sipe with the quarterback keeper. He gets in. He was 26-7 at the half. That momentum continued. The opening kickoff of the second half, and the ball bounces and finds the hands of Braden Smith again, their playmaker. And this time, he does even more with it. Some good blocking opens some holes, and some good patience avoids the tacklers. 75-yard touchdown return. Seattle Prep with 27 unanswered points to get the win. They'll face Ballard on Friday for the Metro League title. In Wesco 3A, EdmondsWoodway looking to wrap up an unbeaten season if they could beat Meadowdale. Pressure on Tyler Brummett, and Kevin Pratt picks off the pass. Both teams known for defense, especially Meadowdale, and it was actually what kept them in this game in the first half. Chauncey Gant gets credit for stripping the ball. Jacob Wiesenberg makes the recovery for the Mavericks as he pounces on it. EdmondsWoodway has run the ball well this season, but didn't have much luck in the first half, so Cruz Caldwell goes to the air for the 2-minute drill, and it pays off. Nathan Tesfacion gets a foot down for a 26-yard catch and out of bounds. Caldwell ends the drive in the end zone. A nice scramble, and finally finds Forrest Newton. 19-yard touchdown with 4 seconds left in the half. EdmondsWoodway, a winner. They get the shutout, and they finish this season a perfect 5-0. In Wesco 4A, the season finale was basically a championship between Lake Stevens and Glacier Peak. Lake Stevens bringing its 45-game conference winning streak into Snohomish, and they wasted no time getting on the scoreboard. Jaden Lamar, patience, and then speed. 98 yards on the opening kickoff. Nobody's going to catch him. The start of a big night for the sophomore running back, and a touchdown to start the game. The Grizzlies, give them credit. They did not flinch right out of the gate. Tyson Lang answers right back, 24 yards to Cooper Jensen. Beats good coverage in the end zone to tie the game up. And if you're going to snap a win streak, as long as Lake Stevens has, it's going to take some gutsy calls from the coaches. 4th and 2 for Glacier Peak. They're on their own 13-yard line. If you don't convert, you're in trouble. But with Ryan Black as your running back, they were out of trouble. Black with 359 yards rushing in the game, 87 on this play, and the early lead for Glacier Peak. But it was clear this would be a duel of offense, and it didn't stop. Lamar did his part again for Lake Stevens. 21 yards on the score, and the two teams in this game combined for 1,019 yards of total offense. Grizzlies would start to take control of this one in the second quarter. Their offensive line was stellar. Nobody gets a finger on Ryan Black this time. He goes 67 yards and puts Glacier Peak back in the lead by a touchdown. GP forces another punt, and they get the bonus plan. Austin Emmons blocks it to give the Grizzlies great field position, so if they could capitalize, they could really dictate the game if they could get another touchdown. But Lang gets picked off by Drew Carter. The first of his 2 interceptions in the game gave Lake Stevens a ton of momentum right back the other way. Tanner Jellison strikes while the iron is hot, goes deep down the right side for Carter, Just a play after he made the interception, a fingertip catch, good for 44 yards, but the damage was done for Lake Stevens on the ground in this one. A gap on the left side on 4th and 1. Lamar, 16 carries, 141 yards, 5 total touchdowns, including this 21-yarder. Lake Stevens would take over the game from there. Jellison to Carter again, 7 yards. Vikings run that conference win streak to 46 games after a 63-35 shootout win. In the South Puget Sound League 2A, neither Washington or Franklin Pierce played for a conference title, but they did play in the annual Helmet Bowl. And if defense is what you like, well, this was your kind of game. Kamari Hale with the interception for Washington. And it was only a 7-0 game in the third quarter, but the Patriots with a big chance to capitalize on that turnover. 4th and goal from about 6 inches. Austin Teague with the quarterback sneak, but Aaron Hall and Hayden Hall, among others, get credit for the stop. And they kept it a 1-score game with that play. Franklin Pierce struggled on offense, missing a number of seniors in this game. Kellen Riley in his own end zone, picked off by Dan Novak, and the big freshman safety goes 32 yards back the other way for a touchdown. A missed extra point made it 13-0, but all the energy was with Washington. That, however, would change on the next drive. Riley makes up for the interception, 34 yards to Carvin Stout, and then 3 plays later, Riley calls his own number. Just a 3-yard scramble in the scorebook, but it gets the Cardinals on the board and back in the game. Their defense wasn't bad. It was just on the field way too much. That's not always a bad thing because they answered with another big play. Percy Williams with the interception. He goes 59 yards untouched on the free and clear plan the other way. Suddenly, Franklin Pierce had a 1-point lead up 14-13. They took that lead into the fourth quarter, and then Washington went to the ground. Xavier Nixon with the nice spin, the great balance, 21 yards on the touchdown. Patriots up 21-14 after a 2-point conversion. A fumble on the next possession cost dearly for Franklin Pierce because Austin Teague called his own number again, this time on the play fake, 6 yards around the left side for the touchdown. That was all the Patriots needed. The Helmet Bowl trophy stays with Washington after a 28-14 win.
Our online today was great. We could tell that we could pull, our guards could pull, and our tackles could pull on our power and run plays and our zone plays. We can tell that we were going to pull around them. We'd use our guards and our tackles essential just to get downfield and create holes, and it was good for us tonight.
Just telling these seniors that we're going to get a year in, and then we can cap off our season and giving our seniors our Helmet Bowl trophy and our community in Parkland. It's just really huge for us. And like I said, these kids, quarterback Austin Teague, Matt Mika, PJ Pelopil, just seniors that have given so much to this program.
We were tough with them. I mean, that's a tough team. They have a quarterback that can sling the ball around the field. The running game really is what did us in tonight. We were keying on their quarterback, big, strong, tough arm, and their skilled receivers.
Staying in SPSL 2A, the team with a chance to claim at least a co-title was the Stillicum Sentinels, but a win from Brennan Nixon and the Fife Trojans would give the conference title outright to Eatonville. Fife's strength has been defense all season long. Dayan Ashwood gets in and sacks Chance McDonald early on, but the big playability from Stillicum can come on any snap, and it does on this one. McDonald going for Cole Miller, tips the ball back to himself. It's a 65-yard touchdown to open the scoring for the red and white. And when we say the words on the ensuing kickoff, you know a big play is coming or a turnover. This time, it's a big fake on the reverse. Elijah Jennings keeps the ball, and an army of blockers protect him down the sideline. 90 yards on the touchdown return as the Trojans tie up the game. Looked like this game would be a shootout early on. Stillicum, however, takes the next drive right down the field. Devontae Hughes slips through everybody for a 9-yard touchdown. Lead goes back to the Sentinels. They start building on that lead in the second quarter. A 4th and goal from the 6. Field goal unit stays on the sideline. McDonald with a dart to Logan Brady. Stillicum gets a share of that conference title with Eatonville after beating Fife 48-21. The North Puget Sound League is basically Kennedy's to win, but Federal Way wanted to play spoiler on Saturday afternoon. The Eagles were the visiting team on their own field thanks to a scheduling quirk. Turnovers made it feel like they were really on the road. Zaire Alexander with the interception, return, and touchdown. Lancers in command at that point, up 19-6. Mason Hayes takes over the quarterback position for JFK after the departure of Sam Heward. Fortunately, the big play receivers are still there for him. Junior Alexander, one-handed concentration, a great catch in the end zone for the touchdown. Federal Way, though, trying to get some momentum before halftime. Tyler Ma'alona with the legs to make plays and the arm to find a receiver. Corey Quinn hauls it down, good for 43 yards before they finally get him on the turf. And as fast as both offenses started moving the ball, the game suddenly turned into a contest of who wanted to throw more interceptions. Ma'alona picked off in the end zone by Isaiah Malo to keep the Eagles from getting back on the scoreboard. Kennedy now poised to strike back. They get a good drive going until Tavita Takai caught one in the breadbasket for Federal Way. He goes 43 yards the opposite direction before he's finally brought down. So Federal Way now with another chance to get in the end zone before the break. Instead, Zaire Alexander picks off another pass for Kennedy. Suddenly the Lancers had another chance to score before halftime and really put this game away. And Hayes this time makes the most of it. Alexander hauls in another touchdown. Kennedy stays unbeaten with a 47-13 win. For more scores, visit KIRO7.com.